I don't even know if you're hearing anything. Oh, yes, you are. Hi, peeps. What's up? Hey, I'm back. We're back. We're alive. We're happening. um, pardon the week-long break. We took a week-long break. We took a week-long vacation. We wanted to gather ourselves, gather our thoughts, and give everybody a little bit of a rest. How y'all doing? Um, been silent, but we're back. We're loud. We're hype. We're happening. And it's a day of why in the hell is the check the resolution thing still back on? I gotta figure this damn thing out. I have to go back out there. Like, I'm still getting it, even though I actually reset the entire thing too, unless during the course of the week. All I wanted to do was just take some time to recharge the batteries and so on and so forth. And again, I'm hoping that's exactly what was done. Checking to see if that's the mic that was on, because it should be. Yeah. So hey, what's up? See, we're still fighting this war over here in the Ukraine. Still checking out the price of tickets to Warsaw. Oh, by the way, you could also fly into Moldova or Romania. Although Moldova, as we've been hearing, maybe something a little bit more than that. So if you're thinking about it, prices are dropping, but some of them are rising and some of them are questioning. This Moldova thing is like really going. Like, I don't understand why they're talking about like what's the deal? You know what I mean? I don't understand how the hell they shouldn't be there. I just don't understand. Like, and now we're approaching May Day, which is even worse. And I don't really want to get into that. Just like, it's just these damn Russians, man. Like, just leave it alone. Stop causing problems. Why is it you in this day and age you still feel like you can have something that you just can't have? I don't get it. I don't get it. But whatever. Maybe it's not mine to get. I don't get it. So, hey, I put the takeoff on because we have taken off. So, Ukraine, stay strong. Hopefully, we'll get some tickets to get over there and start whooping some of that ignorant Russian ass. Because not all Russians are ignorant. I think the Russian overall is some good folk. But there's some people in there that just obviously need to be outed. Yeah, so, hey, what y'all been doing? Y'all been flying? Y'all been getting some stuff out there? The weather's been the weather here has just been the same as it always has been. Kind of crappy. I mean, like, seriously, we've gotten some better weather, but it's really not too great. It's not. It's not conducive still. Like, it's like every time it gets a little bit warmer, we get windy. Like, literally every freaking time. It's getting ridiculous. It's almost like it knows. You know what I'm saying? And it's frustrating because you obviously want to get out there and do some flying. I mean, today would have been better. It's finally like I think we're getting appeased here in the mid to upper 50s. You couldn't have said that about yesterday, and I'm sorry we didn't do a show yesterday. We were going to put a show up there yesterday, but we didn't do it. But we did today. Yeah, it was actually disappointing. I can't understand what the hell. It just it seemed weird. I don't know. But we're off our break. We're back. We're live. And I want to get this one out instead of actually having a Thursday show or just making this a noonday show. I mean, we're gonna get back to that, of course, but like I said, it was just a break, so we're back. And I was gonna like trump this by saying that we have other plans for the shows. Like, okay, the break hit at an inopportune time. Like I said, I was planning on making the show live. The show live, not live, not in the sense of that you're getting this one live, but I mean we're planning on making the show active, the new one, the Inside IVPAC, and it's coming. It's coming, promise. It's just not. It didn't launch yet. It will be here, Inside IVPAC. There it is. Get a look out. We'll have it. I had to throw that in there. It's like an advertisement for it. But it will be in, and I'll get it up. I think I've gotten everybody's logos that I need for this to happen. But in today's whatever the hell it is, depending on where you are, I realize more and more that like again we've got to look at the aspect of it, and so from now on it's today, forever and always, because for some of y'all it's tomorrow, but for some of y'all today is tomorrow and tomorrow's today. Ha! Let's go deep. No, actually, basically what I mean is like I don't want to acknowledge that it's like I'm recording it in more of the evening hours from where I'm at this time. It's a today show, and we've kind of played with this in the past, and I don't want to play with it like that anymore. It from forever and always. It's me. This is the show for today. Trundling through this year. It's May already. Can you believe that? Um, I got some certain planes in, but only because of a little bit of life, but a lot of it because of the weather here for me personally. It makes it really like it's freaking. I don't understand. It's hard to get into it. It's hard to get into the designing, especially when you're busy and you got to stand up a lot of the day now. I didn't used to have to do that, but it's not really so much that either. It's just like I'm not finding as much time these past couple months really to do anything other than create news and test fly certain aircraft. Um, the news is coming. I'm just working out the tweaks. The how to builds are also formed up, so they should be launching very shortly as well. Thank God, because like I know you people, certain people, were really looking forward to those, so they're coming. Okay, dogging me, man. Come on, man. Where you at, bro? We need you up here too before Abby says something. But hey, the topics after breaching off of those two, because again, I'm trying to make these shows short unless we get some chat going. I'm still trying to make the show short, but if we get chat going, all bets are off. Shaped paper, paper shaping, shaping of the paper. What I mean by that is not by the sheet that we have here located in the folded triangle, which has a folded water bomb base or whatever the hell it is you want to talk, the cross sheet. What I'm kind of referring to though is like how do you guys shape like any shape? Like do you constitute shape? I see a bunch of y'all with standard planes. I see a bunch of y'all with planes that look real. I see a bunch of y'all. Well, I mean, after watching all the videos that are out there, you see blended body, you see flying wings, you see flying Cessnas in the shape of a defined body, tailplane, and wing. And after looking at these and seeing like the trend, the design trend, I mean, there's not really a set trend. Okay, I acknowledge that. However, I do notice that there's something fuzzy on there. I do notice that the people that fly, we don't really get into like I mean, okay, you have to tell everybody if you're going to do a how to build, you have to tell everybody what paper you're starting off with, and it's the shape that I'm referring to in these cases. Mostly by what I mean by that, of course, is do you have do any of y'all have a preference for the shape that you start off with? I noticed some that have like NASA's was trying to go with square sheets and hadn't really touched on it until his newer planes. Do you guys start out with your square sheets? Do you guys start out with your typical rectangles? Basically, it's a question of like where are you at in your shapes, and it's not just the starting; it's also the finishing. Like, because some people have some planes that have uh, an end result that makes them look like a flying wing. Like what I was talking about originally, it's not a matter of how they finish, more like how they start. But when you end up with a Delta Diamond, you end up with a Delta, you end up with a flying wing, you end up with a Cessna. I like to call them Cessnas because it's a very generic term. But for any your typical plane look, okay, which is of course your like I said, the fuselage, a tailplane, an empennage, and your main wings. Separate entities like the planes you see flying every day. Um, Unless you're building the body, and by building, I do mean building because it takes you time to craft it. Unless you're building said body, it's not the ultimate end result of what we get every time we do this. So I ask because the planes that we build, or at least okay, the planes that I build and the typical planes that I build are the end product of a fold. The end products of something like Powerhouse makes, of course, are good God, stop it already, would you? Are not folded. There's so much as they are. Okay, right. I take it back. Obviously, if you've seen some videos, you know what I'm talking about. They are folded, but they're not like he tapes a lot of things, so there's a rollover. There's different aspects to those as well because of what they do. Good God, this just sucks. I'm gonna have to stop this. Um, really gonna have to stop this. So ultimately, though, again, basically what I'm getting at is just the fact that eh, obviously your end product is different. My shape question though is like, how do you start? Do you start out with a square? Do you start out with a rectangle? Do you start out with a standard A4 sheet? Do you start out with the standard American 8.5 by 11 sheet? Do you start out with an 8 by 8, 10 by 10, 4 by 4? Um, Hell, is it round? Any of y'all ever started out with a round one? Any of y'all ever started out with a triangle? And by that, I don't mean like this is your start, because you've already made some folds here. But I mean literally start with the plane being a triangle. I just wanted to get at that because that seems to be the most unusual. Of all the planes I've seen built by a lot of people, round and triangle seem to be the rarest of use. I don't see that very often. Um, I'd kind of like to see that again. I'd kind of like to see if that's exactly what it is you guys do. Like, do you go into using? Wow, it fits right in there like almost perfectly. Um, I'm not saying a protractor should be used has a skeletal structure. We were talking about structure about a month ago. We got into that about our TikTok, and yeah, you could do that. That'd be getting kind of expensive. But some of y'all know no bounds when it comes to this stuff. So, uh, I'm considering because these planes that we build, it's always typical. I mean, squares or rectangles, and thinking outside the box. I mean, entails a lot. So I didn't know if anybody like really is any of y'all actually taking the time to start off with something with a triangle or a circle. I've only built like two models ever out of triangles, and man, it's hard to get the weight distribution right. The thing about them was is they were always bigger. I can't remember the size I started out with, but they were bigger. I think they were of Chinese menu size because you really can't get a pretty good like weight distribution going on a triangle plane that starts off with something your typical A4 or notebook paper 8.5 by 11. Hey, Abby, what's up? The Phase 7? Oh my God, dude, you don't want the one that's stillborn. Dude, that's the W body. You don't want the one. You'll get some news on that in a little while. But like, I mean, I could, and okay, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. All right, I probably will, but it's not that good. So it's just not that good. Um, well, I mean, it can be good, but why in the hell is the resolution that low? What is the point of having no resolution? Yeah, that was fierce and really kind of strange. Um, yeah. So sorry, get back on track. To why or show me these round ones. Show me these triangular ones, and show me if you use something small and what do you got out of it. I really am fascinated with the aspect of being able to, start off with something that's that size, just that, and can you get a plane out of that? Can you get a plane that doesn't suck out of that? Is it easy? Is it hard? What is it? I don't know. I'm just trying to picture like what you could do to balance something out. I mean, even looking at this, if you look at this and see the shapes, the forms, the sizes, it's like, I mean, I could definitely tell where folds are going to happen that is going to cause this to be something more, something that can fly in general. But it's like, I would literally, for this one, it's like, almost like you have to start with the fold. You have to start with this fold and then cut this and then go on and say this is your triangle, this is the plane. I'm referring to, of course, in the other ones I'm referring to, I'm thinking like more basic than that, in that the triangle is like a single sheet that's a triangle. Worse. Like, how do you get a lot of weight on that? How do you get some structure on that? How do you get it stiff? Barring tapering it. I mean, people could paper it, but you can fold it and paperclip and staple it, but it's still going to be a single sheet. So I'm thinking, obviously, we're dealing with a structure problem that you're going to have to fix. And this is always true with anything, but when you start with the triangle, you've got a lot less to play with, and you almost always know where your front is going to be. I mean, I'm trying to think of a way to like, assuming this is right. I'm trying to think of a way that you can fold this, and this is your front end. So you're bringing some weight to this section here, and you're creating the wings and body out of the rest of this. And I'm like, no way, no way. I mean, great if we work, but why would you even have something that actually like flies ass end first? In the real aircraft world, and you want to build something with like total instability, so it's got supreme maneuverability, obviously, bingo, you've discovered the holy grail. Go all for it. But we're not getting a little pilot up in here with a little cockpit with fly-by-wire controls. It's paper. It's only going to be at our whims. So chances are, even if you put a nickel, a penny, a dime, a shilling, a euro, cent. What do they call euros when they're not dollars? Anyway, even if you put the smallest monetary denomination you got right here to make the weight, so this is the front, and you even put a point there, which I mean, it can be done. Don't get me wrong, it can be done. But what do you hope to achieve? And then you're talking about making a plane that's small. When I was referencing, of course, point defense, if you remember me going on about point defense before. So, worth it? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, literally, I would probably say like not. Why would you do it? Um, I'm sorry. I'm just pausing because I'm trying to think of like anything that could come out of it that wouldn't end up being where the pointed end is first, and or you want something. But like, prove me wrong. Show me. Give me a video out there and how to build or just a flight of something that you've done that's like that, and prove me wrong because I'd love to see it. I really would. uh, New ideas, man. New ideas. It was just a thought that I was figuring, like, hey, it, this could do. I mean, it could do. So, oh man, the round one's a little bit different. I'm thinking like, obviously, the fold matters because your fold matters. I mean, wherever you put the fold on something round, whether it be totally spherical or something that's ovoid or oblong ovoid, oblong if you call it. Um, Obviously, it could be done, and it could look. Hell, I think it would probably end up looking pretty good. But I'm also thinking like, if this were rounded, uh, where are your edges to do anything with? Is it better or is it worse for paper to not have sharp corners, rounded edges instead of straight edge? Uh, of any type. I mean, obviously, it's like dealing with a phase three and a slanted trailing edge. If you four sweep or whatever, if you're going with a rhombus wing, that's one thing. A delta diamond, which as opposed to the delta, which is a purely triangular shaped wing. But if it's round, it's easy to make that plane round. But what are you gaining from it? This is a good test, and I'd also like to think because you can also, speaking of the hybrids, you can also hybridize that. You don't actually have to keep everything round if you're building it that way. You could foreseeably, if you were to build the winglets, you could angle the winglet cut and then round off your area from where the winglet starts, stops, however you call it, to the wing to the body, and then you could make your rudder and a regular straight cut. Um, Sounding feasible. I've only actually, and again, I've done this before. I've put a rounded edge on phase two twice. It actually is a phase three because it did get cut. So by technicality, it became a phase three, and I honestly don't remember if it worked. I've only ever built two. Considered it a tech because basically it is cutting whatever's off there. But obviously it wasn't a slanted trailing edge; it was a rounded trailing edge. But I don't think it worked as well. So, but again, something else like I'm throwing the ideas out there because I came up with it and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I do remember distinctly. There's one design after one person showed me. This was years ago. He built one out of a paper plate. I mean, just your standard, not like a Chinette, not a deluxe Dixie, like, laminated, although it could work. But he built it out of a paper plate. And the thing about it was like, I'm pretty sure he just form cut it. There was no folds, and I'm thinking on it because I'm thinking he put in, it was a hybrid. He folded up a normal plane, then cut its wings off. No, how did it? No, he didn't cut all of its wings off. He cut a little bit of the wing, or like most of the wings were cut off. It was like, I've got a Cirrus here. I can use this. This is the Cirrus, if you remember from the show that showed you how to build it. But what he did was he took this, like if the Cirrus was, he cut it down. He folded the entire plane, made the plane like so, but then he cut all the wings off, like to here. Like basically, he left about a half inch of wing out. Everything else was off. But he used that as the body, which he taped like with a runner onto the paper plate. So the paper plate. Hey! Oh, hey, E! What is up, man? Dude! How you doing, bro? It is so good to see you. Thanks for coming out. Hey, man, you doing okay? Yeah, flying saucer, you're right, man. Flying saucers aren't worth making much. I swear to God. Good to see you, bro. Thank God you're okay. I mean that with all sincerity. Just because, again, I always worry about Californians for one reason or another. It seems like there's so much going on there. It'll probably be safer for you to move to the Ukraine. Oh man, now y'all ain't gonna be able to drink. I mean, is there any more proof that you need that God, in fact, did curse California? I don't know. I don't know. Make all the wine you want, but if those grapes don't get water, tough titties. You know what I mean? Anyway, so glad you're here, bro. Anyway, yeah, I don't think, like I said, he had made it out of, I mean, don't get me wrong, the paper plate is sturdy. It's a nice, thick construction style paper, so it's like a thicker bond. But again, yeah, rounded, like what? That's what I'm saying. Like it's saying aren't worth much make. I believe you're right. I believe that there's nothing to gain from getting the roundness. I don't believe there was anything special about the rounded phases that I had built at all. I mean, I think they flew. I don't think they flew extraordinarily. I don't think they flew better. Definitely they didn't fly better. That's why I'm not making rounded ones. I mean, trust me, if they had worked out really good, I would have, if you remember my factory video, I would have a video of like 300 of those hanging from my ceiling that all had rounded wings, and you didn't see that. So, there's nothing to be gained, I don't think. Um, is it experimental worthy? Sure. I might. Speaking of which, I'm glad you're here because I was going to email you this, and if you're willing to talk about it, I was going to ask you how you treated your exports. I think I've actually asked you this before, but I was going to get back on the topic because um, one of my big news pieces is I'm trying to. It's about something like that, and oh, by the way, OE, I asked you about. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to take a look. But bear with me. I'm gonna look at a video. Or the video. Blah, it's on the brain. I'm gonna look in the mail because I need to see something. I don't know if you had a chance to ask about, but like, your logo. I have your old one, and I don't know if you remember your old one. It was kind of that like drawing of the planet with OAE on it. I need to use that. Um, but like it's I was kind of curious what you meant by dedicated elsewhere, but I can understand. Keep it that way. Um, I'm going to use that one because that's the kind of logo I need, and it's perfectly all right. I just needed something, and it may be you may have made it long time ago. Whatever. I don't know, but it works, so I'm going to use it. And it, unfortunately, of course, if you have no news other than the fact that a Titan retired, I'm assuming Titan is finished retiring. By the way, that would be the only news that you would have. So I mean, I could put it in there, of course, and probably will put it in there. It's just that it's not in there. Um, I was going to create something out of this in front of you guys because I wanted to actually. It's always nice when you see somebody. If you fly or you fold, I think it's the best way to get people the creative juices flowing and stuff like that. And I was actually almost going to kind of invite some like ideas to it. Like, okay, so I've got this. Where should I go next? Um, uh, yeah, I don't know because I love these. I love this style to start. So I'm just I keep thinking about it. Oh, also did want to say, let me get that out there because you kind of got me distracted with it yet. But I'm thinking, okay, flying saucers aren't worth much. It wouldn't be. I'm also trying to think back of the plane that I was referring to that he had built. I literally can't even remember who it was. I think his name was Dave because I knew a Dave, and matter of fact, we were the two Daves. But I could. You're right. Hey, you're right. It's funny, dude. You bring that. That was perfect. You brought that up. I looked at that recently. Oh man, cause I was going through. I gleaned a bunch of your pictures of your planes from Instructables. So I went through there and like like a few captures. If you hadn't noticed, I don't know if you had a chance to like go back through our videos or like at least look back in the videos. I always like to feature. Last year we had features. You know what I mean? Like the cut page was or whatever you want to call it. The video thumbnail is technically the technical name of it. Was a cut page, and it was something from not in the video, but it was just something I wanted related to. And I usually like to flip it between contractors through the week. So you saw a bunch of your planes pop up, and so I grabbed a bunch because well, I wanted the planes, and in a way, I kind of like yours, and I kind of want to do something like that. As far as like they're universal. There's always a plane posed on the background of a cutting mat. But if you look around, you see a lot of these freaking cutting mats are the background. So I'm working on some other stuff. Uh, of trying to get the hell I don't know. I'm working on trying to get a better shot, and I need to take pictures of each one of mine. I need to get you guys to take pictures of each one of yours. Well, you don't have to worry about it because you put like a picture of each one you got of each model you design on Instructables. Do you have any late? You haven't been on Instructables in a while either. You haven't updated yours in a hot minute, have you? So I was thinking about that because I was like, what did you do? You know, where did you have? Oh, that's what I was gonna. Yeah. Looking back here now, so good to see you up here, man. I was just wondering, like, yeah, what, 35 minutes ago. Oh, aha! Did you make a new one? Did you make the OmniWing Neo Zeta? Is that new? Oh, you put the Raven out there. Ooh. Okay, I'm looking. I'm looking. Oh, you've been back. You've been busy. Okay. Made some comments. Okay. I'll just check it because, like, before that, it was like you were, like he was gone. So, the Turbo Ultra Saber. Remember that one? I mean, I'm sure you do. You remember that one? Um, I that was like the last picture I stole. I was gonna grab the Pioneer, by the way, but I was also like, people ready for that? Think people are ready for that? I don't know. It's is it good in the wind? Man, these people. Oh man. I'm assuming, like, I don't mean that kind of like in a bad way, but I'm assuming you got over the way instructable people have been treating you too, right? No, I knew you. Believe me, I know. That's what I mean. I knew you were making comments, but that's what I'm saying. You were being busy. It's not builds. Those planes are older. Pow, 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 pow. So, in other words, you haven't made one in uh, quite the time, yeah? Wait. Yeah, no, I'm thinking about that because like if you hadn't obviously if you hadn't made one in a while, I knew what I was dealing with here. So pull the edges of the cover folds up to the front as pictured. Then fold the diagonal edge of the center line and repeat on the opposite side. And the what? Do what? So you did. Man, Jean Claude Van Damme. Gotta watch it, bro. Gotta watch it. Speaking, also on that, I was just noticing that, like, if you retired Titan, uh, does that need a does that need a replacement squadron fill for you, or is that okay still? So they wait, what? They do this, yes? Yeah. Never mind. Never mind. I can see that I'm stupid. I can see that. I can see that black was not going to be a good idea for this. Your angle on those shots isn't bad. It's just kind of strange for the folding of the paper there. What I mean is, like, the photos just good shots. A little bit blurry, that's all. I mean, I can tell what you're trying to accomplish. And of course, here's the part of the show where I shut the hell up, because every single time I get into the plane building, everything else falls away. That's a good thing, I think. You know what? I think it's good that you've gotten to that point. Seriously. It's kind of, I mean, it's great to have, again, the creative juices flowing to be able to make more of the birds, but I think it's also cool to have a little bit of stability. Um, Not everything need to be having to find a replacement. Again, there's a certain set of irony to that. Sorry, I gotta fold this tip down. Yep. Okay. Wait. What? Both tips down. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna fold the inner tips down first. Do they have to be tucked? No, doesn't look like it. I can see that. Show off here. Okay. I've used this triangle before. I mean, you saying that is the exact reason why, for example, that I haven't built an update to Javelin. Javelin itself is. That's cool. Well, yeah, because, again, going back through the lists and stuff, I'm trying to look and see, like, you probably have not. Son of a bitch. You have not. There it is. Got to go to the installation sheets for this. Oh, bloody good rights. Okay, where are you? With the ST fin code. Yeah, I got you. Okay. See, your setup, like your setup in at the 162nd, like where you're at right now, your current base, like you don't have any. Like Titan was not even in there. Did you build it as an export? You didn't build it as an export, right? Or did you? Did you? Now I'm questioning how that actually updated. Cause yeah, Neo Vulcan is like, okay, yeah, see where. I mean, I knew where that was because you'd added it, like, you placed it in light airlift, you placed it in the short to medium range attack, and you placed it in interceptor, as well as the control fighter. Interesting combination, I might add. But this doesn't have. This is your current one. You don't show Titan up in there, so that's why I was wondering if it was. So yeah, Neo Vulcan. Okay, okay. No, I'm just checking it, comparing it the roll sheet, which seems to be more active as opposed to the base sheet, and part of that's my fault. I don't think I upgraded the base sheet so much with the installation sheet with the reflected changes. Just because you go through changes so much, I think the one online is accurate. I think the one, because whenever I do it, I always look at the one that I have on my soft copy, so I don't get a full-on aspect of it, and I apologize for that. But again, all the ones that you guys would see would be accurate because you have the one that's online. So, damn, how do you keep that thing from being? Oh, oh, something flew in my eye. I hope it wasn't alive. Okay, closing that. All right. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, really? Oh, they're like age? Is it age? Are they aging out? Like the folds cause them to do something stupid as they age? I've had that experience before. Measure half an inch in the back of the airfoil and put a mark there. Oh, I need a pen for this, huh? Okay. It's not. I remember you said that. So wait. So you're saying a half inch? Measure half inch back from the airfoil and put a mark there. Copy all. Put it there. And then measure an inch from this mark to the airfoil. Oh man, you're gonna make me use a, what are those things called? Ruler. Got your ruler here. Has everybody got a ruler? It's a ruler, Yoda. Yeah. Sorry guys. See, this is the part. This is quiet time. This is the part. I don't know if you guys get into this, but I get into this. And when I get into this, there's like nothing that can distract me. That's why I don't like building for you on the shows too much because we don't talk. I mean, it's a talk show, but it's a build show, so it's like a little bit of all that. So build along with me. You didn't put the Cobra and the Titans in competition, did you? Or did you? I mean, they weren't they weren't too much alike, were they? I'm trying to think of like how. Ow! Jesus, did I close that? I moved too soon. Yeah, right. No, I knew. Yeah, the 1.5 inch. Yeah, I remember. I remember that one. How could I forget freaking Cobra? I'm looking. I'm looking close to short range and interceptor. Oh yeah, Cobra and Neo Vulcan are in the same slot right there. So, as well as your Hatro trainer, along with your interceptor, that makes sense. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I gotta follow these 6 more images. What are we doing now? Oh, so I make the cut? I'll make the cut. The hell was that? Oh, that was me. Okay, so make the cut. I got paper for that. Or wait, I got scissors for that. Let's make the cut. Cut the paper along this line and flip the paper over. What do you mean flip the paper over? Woo! Alright. Don't you hate the fact that when you do the scissors, you almost used to use that wheel roll thing? Because when you do the scissors, it actually cuts where the tip of the blade is and goes off to the right. Okay. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Gotcha. Okay. Apply a piece of tape to the airfoil at its center? You mean like. Wait. You mean like here? I need to. Wait. I need to. I see where you. I mean, I see it in the picture. I'm just trying to see like where. Oh, 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 at the cut. I'm sorry. At the cut. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Okay. But anyway, now I see what you mean. You mean to do this, to do this, to do this. And it follows straight along the back wing. Yes, people were building the intruder because it was suggested by OAE. I'd like to. I'm not going to say this to be rude. I'm not going to call you special guest because you're not a special guest. You're a guest. You're here all the time. You're a member. So, okay? Just you've been back, so it's kind of special. But you know what I'm saying. So anyway, so okay, so tucks it back. That's an interesting methodology you have to doing that, like folding it in. Normally I just try to collapse it on my own some, only because I like seeing where the lineup's going to be. You know, I don't understand why my wingtips aren't meeting. It's driving me batshit. Something in the front, something in the the area up here was causing this to pull back, and now my wingtips are like off. This right wing, right, this would be the left wing. Well, I know that. This left wing is trying to cause issues here. Okay. So, wait. So, you did it on this side? Oh, yeah, okay. I'm trying to get this right. The intruder, nice bird. Okay. I also want to thank you, by the way. Because if you haven't watched back on any of the previous shows, and it's been a while ago, but you have got me definitely into like taping more than I usually are. Like all of us are like, obviously we have our one little thing that we don't like to do, that like the ideas of which somebody else build makes us want to do. Like cutting, or even like stapling to a lesser extent, but cutting for NASA's, it was hard to get him to do that, especially put holes in. He was like, "Oh my God, don't do that! You're gonna, like mess it up." Yeah, I thought he was gonna mess it up, even though my planes flew great. He acknowledged that, just couldn't get him to do it. Now it's like he's okay with it. I'm like the same thing when it came to tape. I was like, man, they fly so good without tape. Do I really want to do that? I admit I was the same way, and you're breaking me of that because I'm taping a lot more of the planes, and maybe I'm just getting lucky, but a lot of the ones I'm taping seem to enjoy that taping, so we're going to stick with it. All right, fold the wingtips down to creases of the intake. Oh. So, on this side. Wait.
Yeah.
So, what? Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. Okay. So right down here. Gotcha. Well, that ain't hard.
Man, you do love to build them. Like, you do love these massive folds. Which is, again, something else I consider now. Like, well, who's to say it's got to be just so? But I'm also of, like, the prospect. Don't get me wrong, it works. Okay, your planes work, obviously. It's just, I'm also of the aspect of, like, the more wing you build, the more, like, wing area you got, the more glidability. No, that's not literal here, people, but, you know. Fold the airplane up along its center again, but unfold the wingtips. Okay. I gotta take a look at the big picture here. We got to see that that's not what I did.
What?
Wait, what? So 3/4 of an inch. So wait. Fold the wingtips down to the creases and fold the airplane up the same thing. Fold the wingtips. We can really measure 3/4 of an inch forward of the trailing edge. Wait. Huh?
Oh, back here.
Yeah, duh. I can see it. 3/4 of it for the trailing edge. Wait, trailing edge? Forward of the trailing edge. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Why the hell did I put my ruler away?
You have to bear with me, because oh, wait.
Dude, I don't need the ruler for this. This is a cutting mat. Man, you got me flustered. Flustered! Alright, 3/4 of an inch.
Man, you got a technicality like that shit. Vampire that I make, that you've seen some pictures of, Vampire does that crap. Where I like to call it the bihedral, because one goes up and one goes down. Bi-winglet, if you're Ben from Y13. I'm acknowledging that. But again, like I said, I still consider it an anhedral if it's that big. Anyway, put a mark here, then measure into the wing about 7/8 of an inch. At about a 25-degree angle from the previous mark, put a mark there too, and then cut the mark on the wingtip to the inner one. This will create a fins. Okay, about 7/8 of an inch. So most of it. Wait, inside. I got you. Well, I got you.
It does make a little bit of an angle. It makes it a bit.
Suck it.
So it makes a bit of an angle. I'm following. Not really.
Where the hell? Sweet baby Jesus. It had to be accurate, right?
See, if you'd seen a couple of the other recent shows, what I did was like I've been trying to take away the exactness because I want people to find their own way. You know, and cut from the market wingtip to the inner one. Gotcha. I'm trying to get people to be like, no, I want the differentiality. I want the spur of the moment kind of build. So, but see, why does yours look bigger? Like even if I do the cut that I've got here, it looks like I've got a shit ton here and not a lot there. Did I do this wrong? It said 3/4 of an inch forward of the trailing edge. That's 3/4 of an inch. But why does it look like I've got so much more? Oh, there, no, never mind. It won't. Okay, I see it. All right, never mind. I can see it in the picture now. The end result picture shows me that it's like it really is smaller in the back than it is the front. Oh, so you just built it for the MUPs.
I got you.
Okay, I got you. The MUPs, people, the multi-purpose utility pods that he developed, which is in of itself a tech talk. Okay, so yeah, folding ring roughly as shown. I have them inside. Wait. So I'm going to give them a little bit of a fold here. I'm assuming they follow the tail plane. I'd like to point out this right here in and of itself when I'm building this. Interesting note, like if you do this fold that we're doing here for the multi-purpose underwing pylon. Sorry.
Gotcha.
I always consider it pods. That's just me though. Because you usually have the pod, you know? It's potted. Anyway, yeah, I got you. Uh, um, 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 um. Where I was going with that though is like, I see that you like straight down. Do you ever try putting an angle on those and seeing what they do? Like if this was folded, like I see that the fold basically follows your trailing edge, but what if it was like this way, you know, or the opposite way? I'm not going to do that yet, but if I do that, I'm going to report it and record it. So that's it though. There's no tape on this. Did you not tape this? Oh wait, I'm looking at your held folder here. Not really.
It's an interesting shot. Okay. So this is a little bit down.
A little bit down. A little bit down.
Gotcha. All right, people. Look at this. Gotcha. Okay.
Pods make it to cargo, so. Slow to moderate speed. Oh, so it's almost like a Lytro trainer. Okay. The intersection should have a dihedral deflection. If you can see it, that's up. And they have an anhedral deflection, although I think I've tucked the winglets down a little bit too much.
I made a sharp crease on those. I'll probably have to take them out.
And you're suggesting throwing it. Okay, so it doesn't. See that? Delicately holding it here. You're not really. Yeah, you're tempted to want to throw it with a finger on that intake, but don't throw it on a finger on the intake. I got you. I got you. Yeah, that thing flies pretty good. There's a little bit of a bank right I had on mine, so obviously there's something.
I see that. Yes, yes.
A really good Lytro trainer potential there. I mean, if you're using it, I don't know if you are, because you have to throw it lightly. I mean, obviously, other than making it an active duty plane, not a trainer that you have to throw lightly, but it's like perfect for something like that. Yeah, man, dude, that can make some pretty good cargo. It's a pretty good airlift potential too, because I can imagine what that would be if it was sized up. I mean, I started with a regular sheet of paper. Well, okay, I started with the crisscross, so I don't know. I think it was a regular sheet of paper when I started it. Now you got me curious because I didn't actually acknowledge. Did you say start with a regular sheet of paper? I'm sure you did. I just didn't pay attention. Yep, 8.5 by 11. Okay. Been a while for the invader. Yeah, I know. What did TAA stand for? I'm looking like you have the TAA USAF designation A97-1. Um, so obviously considered an attacker, but TAA. What was TAA? I didn't learn that one because I mean since you've been an IVPAC, I mean it was it your since you've been an IVPAC member, you haven't used that. I mean we're trying to use like obviously we're trying to make sure that we all like we're doing designators in general, but I figured as much. I I did seriously suspect it. I wasn't sure. I was kind of hoping you might have had an idea, but it's totally unnecessary. I figured I'd just ask. So anyway, yeah.
That's a nice plane.
And obviously a little bit old, right? So, or older anyway. We'll call it older. But yeah, not bad, man. Not bad. That's it's nice to see like even the older planes fly good, you know, because so many of them are good. This is something else I talked about in a previous show because I had mentioned like how you may have a aircraft modern technology and stuff like that. Oh, A6.1 was a lot longer back in time. Um, no, you make it like biplane. I was talking about how like newer tech could be applied to recent things like a resto mod for a car. Um, anybody you could take your original 57 Chevy or whatever, but you put like modern brakes, modern springs, modern shocks, stuff like that. Maybe take out the strut towers, take out the drum brakes so it's got discs, so on and so forth. Hell, you could really go all out and put like some auto ride leveling, lumbar support, power seats, power steering, because I don't think 57 Chevys that was an option, so on and so forth. But thinking back on it with resto mods with cars, it's kind of easier to do, and people are more willing to do it. Mostly because those cars are around. Planes, on the other hand, the only real resto mod you can do with planes, if you have old ones around, and typically it's the Warbirds, but any other plane, it's like the only thing you do is like, well, let's put a more modern prop in it. And while that is a pretty good mod, you don't really change anything else. Like, it wouldn't be like getting a hold of a biplane, like a SPAD 7, or a Fokker DR1, for example. It wouldn't be like getting, or hell, even a BF 109. It wouldn't be like getting a hold of one of those and saying, well, let's put fly by wire in here. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to do that. So, in paper airplanes, that's why. That's why. Because you can be interested in the older ones. If they still work, if they still fly, and let's face it, many of them do, we get over ours basically because we're just like, man, I've used this up. It's like, man, I've been building this for so long. And some of us more than others. You yourself gone through so many so often. Um, and again, I like to stress that the beauty of something like this is the fact that you get many hemispheres of thought. I myself, different grouping. It's like I've built many, but I've built a great deal of one and quite a few of another and hardly any of another one, but yet they're all 30 years old. You know what I mean? So I'm also like, well, I can get my fix of one without getting my fix of the other, and that's why I'm like, okay, I got to find a replacement for this one. And this one I don't really care. It's nice to have the lineage in the same way. It's like, okay, I like to rifle through the museum, quote unquote, the museum, the palace as we call them, and see the old ones that like are retired that once flew great. That's all cool, but I can tape them up and refly them. But in some cases, I've got warbirds flying. You've seen mine. I've got a 30-year-old that flies. The design itself, like javelins, I haven't replaced javelins. I haven't felt the need. Can I do it? Yes. It'd be easy to. I mean, I've built replacement interceptors. Quill is a replacement interceptor, but because I was like, it's they're too easy. You know what I mean? You know it. If you built them, you know it. It's too easy to build something that does that. It's really kind of easy to build stunt planes too, but um, if you've done it forever, I didn't want to say it that way. If you've done it forever, they're all easy, but you know what you're going to get out of your aircraft. But interceptors have got to be the easiest one because anything that can glide, you put weight in, it becomes an interceptor. It's plain and simple. You can stick a freaking quarter up there. Seriously, it's like, oh, I'm going to put a little pocket to hold a quarter. It will be an interceptor. That's my point. Um, but it's like, well, I just like how the intricate folds turn out to be my javelin. It's a little bit of a work-based plan form. I can add on to it if I wish. I haven't changed it. I've changed the phases because they're fun to tinker with, and it's like, oh, that's even better. Oh, that's even better. And that's what I've gone through. So I've gotten my fill of modding through the phases while I've gotten my through of stability with the javelin. So I've got like two different families that one's 30 years old, and while the phase family is 30 years old, the recent ones are the only ones that are in. Yeah. And but that's that, again. That's what I'm saying. It's like there in paper aircraft world, there's no reason to like. I mean, it's new to somebody, so you go and it's a lot easier to manufacture than it would be for like Boeing to take a freaking Douglas DC-9, even though they've done it. Bad idea. Douglas DC-3 and say like, hey, let's build a new one of those. To what end? You're not going to be like, well, let's sweep the wings, let's change the cord, let's the empennage. We could build it a little bit. Like, I mean, you kind of know in the real plane world, you kind of know where the planes would end up just by looking at a Cessna, even a base 152 that was built from the 60s, for example, compared to a DC-3 from the 30s slash 40s, something like that. I mean, back in the day, we had an empennage in the tailplane, as it were, the horizontal and vertical tailplanes. What kids like to call the tail. You put them on. You know, it was a box body, it was a rounded body, and you just stuck on something that was a tail for stability. We got that idea, but we weren't. We didn't have CADs, we didn't have flights, we didn't have test pilots, we didn't have all blah blah blah. So we didn't know. But if you look at it now, it's like you can kind of almost see a lineage, a true lineage from like a Sopwith, camel of any kind, a Spad, you know, from to the Cessna, because it's still got the boxy body, now made of more advanced materials than cloth and wood, and you still got a tail. Although it's like instead of like looking like something that you cut out and glued on, it's like let's see if we can make it a little bit more aerodynamic. So let's streamline it. Let's take the root and like make a fillet, and then streamline it and blah blah, and now it looks like it belonged on the plane. It was built into the plane as opposed to just stuck on. Like, hey, there's a tree leaf. Let's put that on there. Anyway, I'm kind of falling down that rabbit hole, but you get the idea. And the thing is like you could possibly build a brand new DC-3 with an all-glass cockpit with modern turboprops and like change all of the aerodynamics. So like again, your wing is like, oh, let's see, you got the two props, so we're gonna put like a leading edge like severe slant so that the wing chord is like thick at the root. Take it out to the tip with a little bit more of a slant, and let's crank the wings back. You know what I mean? I mean, it's something you get modern of, but to what end? You know, what is it going to do that something else like an ATP or an ATR 72 right now isn't doing? You could say that the ATR 72 is the DC-3 of the now, because it's probably how it would look. Anyway, you got the Marauder. You got either one of those, the Marauder or the Buzzard on instructables. I did a stupid. I don't think about that. Hold on. Oh, come on. That's not what I did. I was going to take a look here. Yeah, there's the Marauder. I see it. Okay, gotcha. All right. And you know what? I can see in that. Yeah, I can see in the Marauder how it looks like that. Anyone who enjoyed the Buzzard Scimitar and the Intruder is bound to enjoy the Marauder too. Ooh, I challenge you. You should make a Marauder too. I'm kind of kidding. I wouldn't expect something like that, but why is it doing that? Huh. I can see the design shape is like really. Hmm. All right.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, the Buzzard is kind of like a walk-along glider, but any more different than like an Omni Wing. I bet you can make an Omni Wing into a walk-along glider. Flying wings, it's like that. That's not, it ain't that hard. I can see where that goes. Personally, I think the Buzzard looks pretty cool. The Marauder's hot. I can definitely see the potential. I appreciate its looks from a technical, a militaristic standpoint. From an aesthetic standpoint, I like the Buzzard and the Intruder better. From a technical standpoint, I like the Marauder better. It's like there's two sides of my brain going. Like it's aesthetically pleasing as one, while the other one is like, damn, that shit can hold a lot of bombs. I'm getting a little kid me's like going crazy on that one, but
Huh?
So you haven't tweeted in a while, eh? Just when I was about to actually say that you should probably be our official tweet rep, make you in charge of that because somebody needs to be, and you ain't done that. What the hell? Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 17, 18. So it's up to there. The Omni Wing. I noticed that. I remember you mentioned something about this. So it's got a 20-inch wingspan, dude. I'm telling him. And dude, I don't know if you listened to it on the show. It's been a couple months now. Hell, it's probably been a few months. It might have been back in the winter, but like I said, like we gotta do that freaking weekend show on the wings, man. We gotta make that wing. And as usual, Mark, I'll be crazy, but we should do it. I don't see any freaking problem with like, yeah. See, the reason let me touch base again because I just scrolled through and saw the Titan again. But I'm like, the reason I was asking about the exports was because of something like that. Because like you described, self-described from OAE people, if you haven't looked this up, was fast, long range, and simple. Now, these are three good qualities in an export bird. Unless, and for you, OAE, I'd like to put this out to you though, is because we were talking about this, and you probably remember it's been a couple of years, but we've mentioned this every now and again. Is it always better, like to have the highest tech birds? For us here, as members of IVPAC, you have to consider it because you may not want your highest tech bird to go out there into combat and lose it, either to the enemy or to battle. You know what I mean? That's where we are with that. It's like why we've mentioned these things we like to call the attrition squadrons, the attrition aircraft, which are, as you would call this, the Titan, which is something fast, long range, simple, designed to impress. It could be an aerial demonstrator, but it can also be something that you simply like. Okay, it's a reserve plane. To keep it in the reserves because you send it into combat, and while you might not want
An Omni Wing.
I know it's a bad example, but I'm talking about something that's complex to build, time consuming, expensive in both hours and materiel, but you may not want to send that into battle. Whereas Titan, you'd be like, so what? That's that kind of plane. That's from the attrition squadrons, as we like to call it. It's like, we don't care if we lose those, but they're damn close to our front lines. And I'm also not saying that that's entirely what our reserves in the IVPAC is for, is to build planes that we kind of just are like, I mean, we still work with those. That's why they're in. That's why they're not retired. And you retired Titan, so not exactly the prime example. I'm just putting out there that again, it's like these are things, and this is actually not so much for any particular member. I'm not looking at any of y'all, but I'm just saying that this is something to consider when you're thinking about your reserve bases that we like to have. This is a prime example of something like that. If you're going to make an attrition squadron, sure, it can be I mean, we ourselves as members kind of have that. That's what I created the dead roll for. If you have dead aircraft, the destruction of enemy, or the deception, I like to call it deception of enemy defenses, they're going to shoot down the plane that you kind of don't care about, while the frontline combat, the interdiction strike penetrator, that thing's going on to bomb their stuff. While you're over here shooting off planes at this thing, it's like, oh shit, they're attacking me over here. The whole point of that plane. You looking one way, they're looking the other. It's a rope a dope. So, hey, there's Robert. What's up, man? You mean me? You mean him? You mean both of us? Yeah, did you like that one? Like every time I played with Nakamura's, man, they're usually pretty cool. But by the same token, it's like, again, just when I'm like, man, that's a lot of complex stuff that I'd really kind of rather not, you know. Oh, really? Oh, well, I said it at the beginning. You down here, like, you didn't come out like, I literally took like kind of vacation, just stepped away from everything for about a week. Literally, I was just out, so I've caught back up with everything. I'm working on it though. But yeah, we're back. We're live. Like, I mean, it literally was just a little vacation, so uh, we're happening now. It really, yeah, the lock. Well, the lock. I love that you call it the lock, and it's like it's nothing too spectacular, I guess, to the average Joe who might not have ever built. It's special, but it's not. You know, we're aerodynamic engineers. We're paper aero engineers, man. We do this. This is kindergarten. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, it's not like it was a true vacation. By the way, it's like I just kind of just literally stepped away from life for a bit. And I don't mean I got high. I don't mean I got like just I did things differently. I haven't taken a vacation in freaking ever. My little rant. Sorry, not gonna go off very long. I'm not with Mark right now, so the rants only last like 15 seconds unless you really get me rolling. But I don't consider it a vacation unless you need a passport or you need to fly, or both. If you drive to some other state, if you're in America, you drive to another state. Hell, if you drive to Canada, I don't consider that a vacation. It's maybe to Canada because you need your passport, but seriously, it ain't a vacation unless you fly, need your passport, or one, the other, or both. I mean, I can take a trip down to see my parents in North Carolina, but fuck it, that ain't no vacation. I didn't really miss it. I was actually thinking about going. That was why I had the vacation plan, because I was talking to the people at work about it. And I was like, or I mean, the time off. I didn't tell them why. I was thinking about it. Um, I've been to like three of those though. So yeah, he was. Yeah, he did distance. I didn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't. The first time I went, I was going to enter, and I was one of the contestants. But like the other two, I was just a spectator. It's so cool. I'm glad he got to go. Yeah, like I said, first time I did. I used javelin. Back when javelin was something. Cause seriously, man, javelin pisses me off, man. It's like javelin has become my long-term Nova. If I've ever told you about exactly what I had to go through with Nova, where like I had that plane, it was remarkable when it started, it became something else, and then none of them worked. So it pissed me off. So I put it on a hiatus that I didn't intend to while I researched the shit out of phases. And if it might have worked that one way, they might have been neck and neck at 600 planes apiece. But now it's like one's at 600 and the other one's at, well, Nova's now up in numbers, but because I've learned some things. But see, it took me that long, and this one of those things. Never hold yourself back. If there's anything that I could learn, that I've learned to teach you, is like, don't hold yourselves back. If one design like makes you mad and you're about to retire it, don't do it. Don't do it. If there was something that made it cool before and then like it started to suck for whatever reason, work with it. Don't be like me, put it on hiatus for almost a decade and then kick yourself because it was something simple and something stupid you could fix. Because oh my god, that's what happened. Oh my god, dude. It was so freaking stupid. I mean, the thing I was talking about, you've seen it We've mentioned it. I call it the floating rudders because you cut the simple rudders. Nova's problem stems from the fact that it has winglets, and you guys may know this. Obviously, the more vertical control surfaces you have, the more things you put into the wind to do that, the more likely, like, if you get a rudder wrong, you're gonna yaw. It's gonna corkscrew, and if you don't know enough about aerodynamics to keep up with it, it's gonna piss you off. And while I did know, I didn't realize that much was coming from the little winglets that Nova's had. I mean, literally, they were like issues with Cirrus, and I can't explain why the average Cirrus, although my folding has gotten better through the years, but I can't explain why the average Cirrus glides through the air so much better without tweaks than Nova ever could with tweaks, because that's how it was going. And again, that's why Nova. This is okay. No, it's not like a Nova, but it is in the fact that it's got a semi delta diamond, and it's got winglets up near the canards. There's not a true canard up here, but it's got winglets where canards would be. Okay, in that way, it's Nova-like. And for some odd reason, like I said, Cirrus has never had the problems that I don't understand why, other than the fact that my folding got better. But Nova had these and it had a problem. And this one does even has the rudders cut into the winglets, which solves a great many of the problems that Nova had. But my point is just don't let shit like that get you down. Whatever it is, if there's a plane that like worked, if you build 5 of them, the first one worked great, the second one was really cool, but the third, fourth, and fifth just absolutely blew donkey balls, don't freaking give up on it. I learned that shit the hard way. So now it's why I can't bring myself to like get rid of Nova. It's like, okay, first one rolled out in October 22nd of 1989. I can't bring myself to retire the bitch because I'm thinking I haven't worked it all the way out. I really so badly want to put it out in the pasture, but I never get to do it. So yeah, I know. I saw you ask that. I caught up on everything earlier, late yesterday, earlier today. I get it to you. I'll respond to your messages probably after the show. So really? Oh man, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. You gotta watch it, man. I mean, China want to reverse engineer everything. I I don't like saying that because the Chinese have got some great creations, but it's like, yeah, it'd be funny. Like, we develop anything they develop that they can't think of. It's like, I mean, dude, I would do the same thing, and you wouldn't put instructional videos out there if you wouldn't want people to do it in the first place. So, it's like, what do you consider true reverse engineering? You know what I mean? If you're talking in real plane terms, you almost have to have the plane so you can reverse engineer it. Almost. But you can get a lot of info just by like looking at the pictures, and the pictures of like nowadays everything is already like totally out there. It isn't since the days of like the early 90s and we had to have like grainy black and white photos from the Eastern Bloc because there literally was an iron curtain. You had to be like, what the hell did this plane look like? Which is probably what ours looked like to them, although I can't imagine that was true. Seriously, like how could you not? That was so. They really had that kind of security. You know what I mean? Our pictures would never look like that to them because have you seen the books that we print through time? There's color photos of combat aircraft that have been around since the 40s for crying out loud. We've got magazines dedicated to it because the Brits love it. I have 2 subscriptions. But I mean, all you need is the subscriptions. You can bet your ass the Chinese have that. You can bet your ass the Russians had that. And it's like, but they literally had the Iron Curtain, so we had to get grainy black and white photos. And it's like, is that a plane or a cloud? That's a stealthy looking cloud. Damn, that cloud might have missiles. We better look at this. It's stuff like that. It's amazing to think of that we were that. What's a good word? Like media, like deprived from behind the Iron Curtain. So it is amusing, and to think that, like, again, from both ends of the spectrum, I have got no beef with anybody. I'd love to start a war and then make peace because like, hey, you're cool. Yeah, like we can go to war. I'll throw a javelin against you. You throw whatever your interceptor is at me. I don't care. We fight, but then we get to be friends. And like, how'd you design that? That was a really cool plane. I mean, ultimately, that's where I'd like to be. Obviously, I term it as military, and combat's fun, but it's not as fun as just getting together to fly. But even still, even at war, you're getting together to fly, and usually that's what gets people interested. But I digress. The point of the matter is like it's easy to reverse engineer a paper airplane. Hell, it's not even necessary. You go online, you do, hey, look at this, how to make the Titan a paper airplane in Instructables. Well, I can build it from that. Now you just need somebody to take a look at it. It's like, what can I do to make this better? It's not reverse engineering. I like to think of it as further engineering. I just hope that somebody, I would like to think that somebody that would see that, that would build that, would actually build it either in front of you, fly it in front of you, and tell you this is what I did, and it's like different entirely. You know? And the reason I say it like that is because, of course, I've done that with a couple planes. I just built the intruder, but I didn't mod it yet, so. Well, OAE, I don't know if you should do that. I don't know if you should actually say, like, okay, you yourself, this is going to sound strange, but you make one plane and you personally consider it the export, and then the other plane turns out to be more popular. And by popular, we're probably considering it as like um, people build it. I'm guessing. You get more comments on it. You assume these people built it. Let's assume the people built it, okay? You don't know for sure. Let's just say 2/3 of the people that comment build it, okay? Um, but if you base any numbers on that, then should you truly call the other one the export when the other one is the more popular one? Maybe you should flip switch that, and say like, okay, well, that one's popular. That's the export variant. Although you're kind of for a person and not you, I mean anybody, you're really kind of shooting yourself in the foot either way, because it's like, well, whatever for whatever reason you consider when playing the export variant,
It's like, okay, maybe it's because it flies better.
well, obviously the people are going to like it if it flies better, so you still ain't going to win. You make in the paper airplane world, if you're going to put your ideas out there for everybody to like fly around and stuff like that, you're never going to be able to give them, this one doesn't fly as good. Pre- Prefix everything, preface everything with it. This one doesn't fly that good, and you're definitely not going to have a popular plane versus this one flies awesome. I mean, there's like 3,468 videos online of the world's greatest. Now, the world's greatest paper airplane, it would be the number one. There would be no other. So it's like Final Fantasy 28,016. I'm like, dude, there's only one. That's why it's called Final. There's only one when it's the world's greatest. So people, here's a little lesson for you. Stop prefacing your freaking videos with world's greatest when. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Just keep doing it. I don't understand what you mean. You do understand that chances are it's a 10-year-old looking that up, because anybody of age who's been around the block, and there's a lot of us, are probably not going to look it up knowing for sure well that it's like, you ain't got the world's greatest play. Give me a break. He's probably still having computer issues. You know what? I embarrassed to say I actually haven't texted him in quite a while. I just naturally assumed he's still having the computer issues, and he let me know when it come back. So yeah, that's where we're at on that. Hey, OAE, have you seen Robert's flying car? I'm sorry, I get a special kick out of that just because, like, dude, I'm like, okay, it's either a plane or a car. And if it's a car, it's got four wheels and stubby wings. If it's a plane, it's got landing gear. You're tripping me out calling it a flying car. I get it. It's really great for YouTube and social media and stuff, and it's probably going to cause some hits, maybe. But, dude, a flying car? I. My internal like dialogue is laughing its ass off every just saying it, just picturing it. And it's like, no, dude, no. I mean, if I'm building it and it's gonna fly, it does any semblance of flying, it's a freaking plane. I'm never in my life gonna build a car, especially a paper car that ends up flying. It's like, oh, it's got landing gear. Okay, because again, I'm like literally, I think my left brain and my left hemisphere and my right hemisphere of my brain are warring each other over this right now, because I'm like, just like, no, that doesn't happen. Even when you see designs of it on like for real life, it's a car that is able to take flight, but you got the four tires. Is there a steering wheel or a joystick or a steering stalk? And what does it do? Does it have cruise control or autopilot or auto cruise? You see what I'm going through with this? Is like, I get it. I mean, like, really, that's why do you need a flying car when you could put a Cessna in your freaking garage anyway? But anyway, I digress. I'm just thinking like in the paper. What? This isn't the paper car world. It's the paper. Anyway, yeah, no, yeah. Well, I know it slides. Yeah. Did I show you? You guys have seen the pic. I've got that pic. Why in the hell are you doing this to me? I got that pic. Let me bust this out before I get stupid. And I'm going to get stupid, so bear with me. But I got this one here for you. Do you remember seeing, you guys, I don't know if you remember seeing this shot. I got both of you on here so I could do this crap. Um, I had an airlift rodeo with my planes at one point. Um, I like calling it that because I call it that. But, like, well, that's just dumb. Yeah. I get a popular shot of a Nimbus here. You remember seeing this one? See how low that is? That's a Nimbus I took the shot of in flight. And Nimbus, like, flew a good, I don't know, I'm going to use feet on this. It was a good, like, 20 feet, like, at that altitude, which I thought was pretty damn hype. Um, that was a good shot. That was a good showing of that aircraft. Um, and Nimbus can do that on a semi-regular basis. Nimbus being, of course, again, if you remember, it's the larger version of the Cirrus here. Um, Ironically enough, I have never got a Cirrus to do that, but the Nimbus is doing it on a regular basis. Could it be because of their larger wingspan? I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Um, that's the same freaking picture. Stop being a douchable what's it? Oh, it's cut. Yeah, you stupid. Oh, yeah. There's one other shot. Sometimes I take amazing pictures. This is another shot. That's another Nimbus that had flipped on its back. And, okay, that's an amazing shot. It is about to land. That one has not landed yet. That is still in flight. You can tell by the shadowing. You can tell by what's under there. She's not landed yet. She's about to. But that's a different flight because the other one was flying upright. This one flew upside down before it landed. That's like centimeters off the ground. And by centimeters, I mean like 2. So, I mean, they've done it, but I would never call it a flying car. It just, no. All of my sense of everything is like telling me, no. I mean, it's cool to have them do that, isn't it? It's really cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, I've showcased those, right? So they're capable of that on a regular basis. That's cool. That is so cool. But hey, you didn't call it a flying car, right? I mean, no, Robert, I'm just kind of teasing. I'm teasing myself. I'm not really teasing you. I'm teasing myself because it's like, again, my brain is at war just saying it. It's like, don't you dare. Don't even. That's not what that is. That's a freaking plane, dude. God, we don't build cars? This ain't the IVPAC? Paper air autos? Paper auto? No. Paper air cars. I guess we wouldn't have to change the initials at all. Paper air cars. No, man, no. Come on, man. Like I said, I don't know. Okay, I couldn't help myself. It's just so hard to stop from laughing and thinking about that stuff. Although, I mean, your videos on them are really cool. So, it makes me kind of want to like, can I get Nimbus to do that again? Oh, wait, you think you Strato Warrior to do that again? Sky Warrior to do that again? Man, that'd be cool. Yeah, no, right, yeah. And like, the Waggers, wing and ground effect, or the Weege, I'm sorry, wing and ground effect. Do they call that? And like chronoplans, like the Soviets have, we like experimented with and we like put them out to pasture so quick, which makes me think they actually worked. But yeah, I always thought that was that's a unique perspective on it. I just don't know if are we going there? I mean, we could go there. Really not. Well, you know what? Take it one step farther, Robert. You should call it paper tanks. Screw the car. I mean, these are for combat, right? It's a paper tank. He put something like, think about it. Think, oh man, dude, you have the capacity. Oh, I gotta build one of your planes. I gotta build anything because if you have, especially Ben, like I'm thinking about Y13 and I'm thinking about yours, and you have these, like, oh, you mean you of course are strict folders for the most part, But I'm thinking if you put structure inside and you fold it up and you taper it because you're also reinforcing the hell out of the outside so it can take a beating and there's structure inside. What I'm considering is something like a paper car that becomes a paper tank. And I'm also thinking like, well, then if we install a tube, say a straw, somewhere in the body, like at the root of the fin, that can hold, say, a bottle rocket, and you fly, it stays low, launches the rocket, it becomes a weapon, becomes a ground weapon. It's a tank. It launches rockets. It's not a true tank, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, we're talking. It's not a true car here either, so I'm just letting my imagination run loose. But you get the gist of this, and that's what I'm talking about. It's like I would have built one of yours because I'm thinking like, oh, the ideas. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like I haven't had these ideas before. Like Ben puts them into motion for us, and you build the common versions of it. And I mean, let's face it. Like I'm not. It's not a disrespect in any way, shape, or form. Your versions are very technical, but I mean, you've seen what Y13 does, and his shit is like, I don't even know. I'm like, I don't want to. I don't. I can't fathom taking the amount of time. I'm glad he does it. I'm so glad he does it because I don't have to. Because I'm not going to draw it, build it, and then like, go get me a clothespin, break it down so I can have the spring, so I can do this with my straw, so I can have a movable wing on a paper model. No. That shit ain't going to happen. I want to build this. You know, like, I would like to get this done in 5 minutes and get out there and fly it. I don't want to be spent on this damn show 2 hours each night for the next 3 months from the drawing board to first flight. In paper flight, that's a long ass time. That's probably the equivalent of the drawing board to first flight of a real aircraft. But like, damn, dude, you really need to get somebody like Ant-Man, shrink down, put him in your cockpit so he can fly a plane for you. I mean, really, because like the epitome of something like that would be to actually be able to change its wing shape and plan form in flight. It's one thing to just set a wing sweep on the ground. I mean, anybody can do that shit. I could do that with this thing if I wanted to, and I've got the designs for it. But in flight, until you can do that, ain't no point. You know what I mean? So you know. I know. I know. I know. I know. oh yeah, but going back, yeah, I don't really care about the ground effect either. Like it's cool when it happens, but I ain't trying to get planes to do it. I ain't trying to get planes to do it. Doesn't I gotta check this out. Hold on, I gotta check this out. It's not that I don't believe you, because I do believe you, but I swear to God, I thought you said flying car. Did you say sliding? Was it description? Fuck if I know. I don't remember. But this video's not made for kids. Um, I, oh, dude. Also, why is it still saying the 20th? Arr! Sometimes, man. Just sometimes with that shit. So, OAE, since we got you back, though, um, really, really, I need to give you a name, because, dude, for real, 3 vowels. Like, I can't even, OAE! I can't even do it. It sounds like some kind of Hawaiian thing. Anyway, anyway. I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking like, oh yeah, you said sliding paper car. God damn it! I was hoping you didn't. Or you got paper car twice. Just like, dude. Oh, damn it, damn it. Okay, whatever. But still, my point is. Oh, but I do want to ask you, RR7M, is that like the next step from the RR7? And and how did you come about that? Like, because you have RR8. Is RR8 still a test bed? Where's RR7M is falling in between? Does it borrow one from the other? I'm kind of intrigued by this. I like the fact that I just enjoy the fact you called it M. I love seeing suffixes added on, and like little subvariants like me and Mark like to talk about. So This is some good shit. This has been a hell of a show. Man, this is really cool. We're getting into it for a change. But yeah, no, dude, it's like the perfect amount of of like, yeah, well, you know what? Ultimately, I think
Yeah, but again, the M is the M slot in. That's like OAE
when OAE's talking about how where the hell did my freaking camera eater go? Bear with me a second, people. I'm looking for something. I'm on the hunt for something. I have seriously, I understand. I've talked about this. I've talked about this. I've talked about this. And I've lied to myself and to y'all about this. But I have got to clean these planes out. I got this file just of drawers here that's supposed to be for all my good shit, all my camera equipment, all this stuff. And all it holds is paper airplanes right now because I've got so freaking many that, dude, it needs to stop. I still haven't retired and downsized to the extent of, at least I knew where I could find it, the extent of that I've always talked about doing with y'all and promised y'all. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Hell, this little Cirrus right here may go away. I don't know. 332's code is W, by the way. That means absolutely nothing to you. But whatever.
Like I said, bro, I'm really actually just happy that
You call it the M.
I mean, for real, that
I get more enjoyment out of the fact that you have the R7M than anything else.
and
You guys weren't with me long enough to know, and you may have remembered me touching on it, but I don't touch on it often because of where it is. But like a long, long time ago. No, I'm not saying the next line, but a long, long time ago, I called the Phase 2 was the Phase 1 M because it stood for modified, and I had a proposal for myself and the company that would be like, okay, what I'm going to do is every tech, like it took a while, but when you're younger, you were stupid, right? So every tech, I was going to go through the 4 letters.
and each phase I was going to come up with a tech that I was going to put on it as long as it bettered the degree was as long as it bettered the plane,
Or at least it flew similar to itself. Um,
it was going to get the vowel. Each tech was going to get an A, E, I, or M. Advanced, enhanced, improved, modified. I didn't know what order they were going to go in, either alphabetical or which I felt was more, more productive. Like I thought, like M sounds just saying modified sounds pretty basic. advanced,
Improved sounds next.
advanced, and then enhanced. Like
It's either or. But I was gonna go through those. And I was gonna say like, okay, so I was gonna go through those 4, and after that, it was the next phase. I mean, like, sure, you could probably come up with another quite a few letters, but I like those 4 the best. So I'm gonna go through those 4, and then after that, if it was still improving, it was the next phase.
And it strikes me I would finally have caught up to where I would be now
If I'd have gone through the ones that had the tech from before, but I also, after going through some of the techs, I realized there are just simple more modifications. They weren't improvements, they weren't enhancements. So I didn't go that route, and that's why I am where I am today. So the 7M borrows elevators. Oh, hey, you ever do that? I think I've done that. It borrows elevators, so it's maneuverable from the R8. But the R8's after the fact. I get it. So you're actually, so you could use both. Ultimately, right? You're using, like R8 is technically a replacement, but you can use the 7 and the 8. Is the 6 still flying? Or even the 5? Is the 7 the only current one?
That's like, but I get the feeling that's like asking OAE if I get the feeling that's like asking OAE if like
Is the Turbo Vulcan still flying? Is the Vulcan still flying? Yeah, it is, but it's, the Mark 26.
And I gotta hey, by the way, that's a little interesting topic there.
Just wanted to say, like you said, like, look who it is. And like you were talking about me? Dude, OAE's here. And you're talking about me? Hey, who showed up a week and a half ago? Who hasn't been here in 6 months? I'm way, way more surprised and definitely more pleased to see he's back from the land of the living. And so glad he wasn't the victim of a drought, an earthquake, a forest fire, a freak blizzard, monsoon like waves, tsunami, whatever the hell California gets hit with today. Because again, God hates California. If there's a God, he hates California. Probably because the Kardashians are there. I don't really know. Probably it's because a whole bunch of fake rich folk are there. That's why I hate California. But, seems to me like the weather extremes would probably only draw to the place. Because the humans fucking suck. Yeah. Let me backtrack a little bit. I was hoping you meant both of those guys. But backtrack a little bit, though. So what happened to the 6 and the 5, though? Because I think, like, if I go back through the aircraft sheet, which I've been doing because OAE's here, so I had to. But if I go back through the aircraft sheet, I see no mention. Like, I've only got a backtrack for you oh my God, you're going to bust this sheet open again. OAE, have you ever been through his? He's got something going, like, way back, too, like you do. So it's like, there's actually a couple that are earlier than yours. I digress. Let me go back through this here because I'd like to assume that since you're up to the R7, the R8, you've had 1 through 6, and we've talked about that. But all I've got is 1 and 2 accounted for. 3, 4, and 5 and 6. I think you've mentioned the 4 for us before, but I've never seen a mention of the 3, 5, and 6. So I was like, they exist? Were they stillborn? They just protos? What happened? Just curiosity. Again, because like if they were anything other than stillborn, I'd like to get them in the sheet. Just saying. Just saying. I mean, call me an like OCD motherfucker, but I really like to have the records. And I don't ask you guys to keep up with it. Just give me the info so I can keep up with it, because I like to keep up with it. That's just kind of like my shit. So I would, yeah. Would you? Would you mind? That'd be great. And get some pictures. OAE and me are pretty easy. I mean, I'm easy. I'm stupid, but I'm easy because I've like not really done like I don't have the pictures I'd like to have, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So, oh God, where did I put all these things? Son of a bitch. Oh yeah, the latest thing I was doing was trying to get these actually accurate. So I've got like, what the deuce? What is the hell is that? This isn't what I'm trying to do. Okay, so bear with me here. I wanted you to see this because I've just been playing with this. So, I played with this for a reason, but like javelin, um, with just a black hole behind it, about to slither way into it. But the point on that is there's no background. So I'm trying to think like I'm gonna get these in such a space in such a place where I'm gonna get like OAE likes to do. Okay, he's got the cutting mat. I think it's a great backdrop for what we do. It's succinct and to the point, and everybody knows. I just want a little bit more flair to it, so I'm gonna take some shots, and I'm gonna have him handy for something. But I'm just that's the point is pose shots. I'd like a pose shot, and you know what I'm talking about because we've had some of the planes, and you've enjoyed the shots of some of the posed aircraft. So that's all I'm saying is just like I'd like some more of those. If you have them, if you don't have them, get them, cause like some of you guys have already given up enough that I need that I've got. That's really cool. And where the hell did it go? Oh yeah, like that. Like you recognize the shot, and I just took the rest of it out. But again, you know the shot, so just something so it's big, so it's trapped, so you know what it is. And mine are probably all going to end up looking something like that because I definitely like when I pose the pictures, I always have the binder clips on them. So
I don't even think I want to edit out the binder clips. I think it's actually a nice touch. So, I mean, because again, it's like it centers you. It gives it a little landing gear like appearance, and
it brings you back to the reality of hey, we're paper aerodynamicists. So that's what we are. That's what we do. That's what it is. Amen. um. So yeah, please. If you can, like the pictures of them, especially, or at least keep doing it like where you send me the shots through Messenger. Um. It kind of works in the thumbnails if they're big enough. Because there's a couple shots that I was going to use. There's even a couple from OAE, as a matter of fact. A lot of his are of perfect shot, but there's a couple of his that end up being small. There's a couple of yours, pal Robert, that yours are smaller. Um, I don't need them to be big. I just need to be like 17-inch tube monitor size. So if they could at least be a 1024 by 768, I can use it. Preferably like mine there, but then again, I don't expect that. But I'm using my digital. I'm using a DSLR to take those shots. So that's actually like a 35-46 by whatever the hell size down. It's an 8 meg picture. But size down because I don't like them to be that large. There's no point to that. Dude, after a while, it's like unless you're looking at them at a freaking cellular TV that's up on the wall, it pixelates. So screw that shit. I'm not going to turn everything into an SVG. You don't need to do that. My God. Oh, that ought to be interesting for both of us to see. Is the RR family like your family? I use the term family like, like the feature family. Like, obviously, ours. Mine's the Phases. OAE's the Vulcans. I mean, everybody, that's the thing. Everybody's got their family. Is the RR your family? I consider that like the signature, the trademark of one of our, it's a trademark of anybody that's been in for a while, who's actually got a hold of stuff and then like works. If you're a tweaker, if you develop tech like us, this is what you do. This is your thing. Your mark is to make a family, and it's like they've lived for a while. So, yeah, I gotta work on that myself. But anyway, hey, dudes, this was freaking awesome. This was an awesome show. I'm approaching the 2 hour mark. Dude, Robert, I'll get you the info. You get me that stuff. OAE, it was freaking awesome to see you. I hope you keep coming out, bro. Thank you for coming in there. Um, I hope we got some stuff flowing. It's like you won't. I mean, everybody needs a hiatus. I ain't saying that, but like we got a show to run here. So, brother, come on, man. You gotta show up for us. You know what I'm saying? I gotta talk Ben into coming back in too. But anyway, man, dude, nice. Thank you. I knew that's what that was for. You didn't even have to tell me that. I knew that's what that was for. Seriously. I think we all knew that's what that was for. I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to call my planes a DP because that, suspicious. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. You should have popped in a little bit earlier. I'm sorry I'm kind of cutting it on you. I don't mean to be cutting it on you. I'm just meaning like 2 hours. I'm trying to set a topic here, but like we talked planes all night. This was freaking great. I will be back. We will be back. I said it before. We will be back. I just took a vacation. That's all. I kind of just, stepped away from everything. That's all. No big deal. Wasn't a psychological break or no shit like that. I was fine. Just wanted to just take a break. So we'll be back. We'll be back in force. Got all the shows. Look forward to the new shows. You guys got to be anticipating these. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Like I said, we'll be back. OAE, I don't know if you're aware of it or still on there. You've been quiet, but we got a new kind of lineup coming out here. They got a new look to everything. Hopefully, man, if we could talk you into another put another show on here, another video at least on YouTube. I mean that's actually all I'm really referring to. I could give you OAE's corner if you want. You could just make your own little show, please. That'd be awesome. I'll get you the animation. I'll get you the video, the audio editing, so we don't have to hear your voice if you don't want. Believe me, I've got this thought out. I mean, and I've got some things. You guys, behind the scenes, I got some stuff. But anyway, dude, yes. Thank thanks a lot for making the show great, guys. Glad you guys come out there. We got some good plane talk in. There will be some shows. Like I said, just a week long break. I mean, I could have gave some people some warning. I understand that. Sorry. Won't happen again. There'll be news. But yeah, it was a good night. It was a good day. It was a good day. We got to remember these are days. Okay. So yeah, man. Just keep folding out there. Keep flying. You know the drill. Better yourselves. Better your planes.